6, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, I can't do that shit. And I don't never vote, cause I'm fucking broke. And either way, I know the police ain't gon' leave me alone. On a plane, about to visit Glen Rock. Need crypto, told me I should bring the Glock with me. So I packed up my piece and I'm sliding. Cause we might get caught up in a riot. Middle finger Trump, middle finger Biden. Fuck a left, fuck a right, is you riding? Know you love to see it, dudes rocking. Ain't no politics, baby, we just talking. From the birds to the bricks, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. Who you with?
I was just talking to you and I were talking about Erewhon. I went. I think I'm the first ever of us to go to Erewhon.
Yeah, I've never been. I've wanted to go for years because I've heard about it so much, and I've like known people that have worked there. But what'd you think?
I mean, nothing overtly bad. So it's weird. Everybody's wrong about it.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you go there, it's like, you spend, so much money, which it is. I mean, the stuff is expensive. They're like, oh, it's just so expensive, and people just throw money away. But then also it's also billed to you as like this state of the art looking store when it's like, if you've been buying health food products, like I was with my wife and we went to the one in Calabasas, Kardashian land, that area, very rich area. We saw it on the way from Santa Barbara to San Diego, and we said, well, on the way back, let's go. We got to at least try it because we don't have them in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And so
they need a Bay Erewhon, dude. They need a Bay
Erewhon.
Yeah,
dude.
Hang on, let me just crap my Erewhon poppy orange.
There you go.
Quick, dude.
Yeah, wonderful. We have for $14. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so I went there. And we're like, okay, the meats look pretty good. I think the star is like their hot food bar. The hot food bar looks quite appetizing.
Yeah.
I didn't mess with that at all, but like I just was like, okay, I see that one pops out like immediately. The rest of the stuff is all stuff that you can get on Amazon or whatever, that you can order for, in my opinion, cheaper. I think my wife said the same thing, but like the weirdest part is the people that just hang out at Erewhon. Though they just hang out. It's not a hangout place. They don't really have in Calabasas. They don't really have like a seated area that's like substantial. Like I've seen Whole Foods with better like seated areas. These people just like stand in like the aisles and like talk to each other, and they're just like, no, it's been great. It's like, you guys have plans today? Or do you just
like
spend
Beatles, Nowhere Man just playing?
Exactly. Oh, dude, yeah.
Nowhere One, dude.
Yeah. Nowhere One, man, dude. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so strange. These people, I'm like, is this the docket for today? Is go to Erewhon, spend however much money, and then just chop it up with just Erewhon.
For sure. There was that crazy article that came out. I forget where it was talking about people like us to get like a second job so they can afford Erewhon and just go and hang out.
Is that real? Is that people do it?
I guarantee you it's real for at least 3 or 4 people in the world in LA for sure. For sure, dude. Yeah.
That felt like the avocado toast meme. Like, well, that's why you don't have a house, is because you're avocado toast,
what's the Erewhon? The dumb seems like, the hot food bar seems legit. But you get like a quarter cup of garbanzo beans and it's like $27.
Yeah, straight up. And I had, which is a common order for you, right? Is a quarter cup of garbanzo beans for lunch.
That's my go-to.
Yeah. You wanted the actual answer to that. I don't have it for you, unfortunately. But I did try one thing there, and all right, this is not a good review. Any fucking Erewhanas out there?
These stand.
Yeah, if you're a stan, this isn't gonna work for you. But I tried their activated smoothie because why wouldn't I?
So, that's like our theme, dude. We would name it that if we were creating the menu.
And I said, I was like, in my head, I was like, okay, I would never buy this otherwise. I'm gonna get the thing that doesn't look good, but the thing with having a podcast is like it's a relatively cheap way to have a lot of fun, except for the part where you're like it doesn't stop you from spending really retarded amounts of money on things because you're like, oh well, that for the pod we could talk about it, So I wasted $19 on what I'm about to tell you right now. $19.
12 or 16 ounce.
12er. A 12.
What?
So this was the activated smoothie.
Dude.
Yeah, I know. It's like beer. 12 ounce beer is less than that. Like
stadium beer, dude.
Yeah, it's literally like a stadium beer. And so this is, but I'll tell you one thing: I can finish a delicious stadium beer. This was an abomination. I'll tell you, it's an activated smoothie. I'm thinking if your most active guy doesn't like it, scrap it. Scrap it.
Back to the drawing board.
So I'll read it. This is from their site. The activated smoothie is a creamy blend of cold brew almond milk, coconut milk. They don't use commas at Erewhon, apparently, and a touch of sweetness from dates.
They got the they're doing it like they're Cormac McCarthy inspired.
It's Cormac. Yeah. So the activated smoothie is a creamy blend of cold brew almond milk, coconut milk, a touch of sweetness from dates. It's enriched with a dandy blend ground coffee and a mix of superfoods like lucuma. Is it lucuma? Lucuma, mesquite, maca, and cacao, and with added collagen, MCT oil, ghee cocos, and hints of cinnamon and toffee. This organic smoothie is flavorful and nourishing. The last part's wrong.
I immediately know what threw the smoothie.
This is charcoal. Way too much charcoal.
Charcoal, but honestly, charcoal is kind of flavor. Visually, it's crazy, but it's kind of it's the mesquite. The mesquite through it.
It tasted like a windy day at a park where you're standing next to the wrong side of the grill. Is what it's
That's
like.
the mesquite, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Mesquite's some bullshit ass superfood, dude.
It was just like, dude, just put a couple Kingsfords in there, and I'll buy it for cheap. Just a couple Kingsfords.
No, because the activated charcoal wasn't smoky. The mesquite is smoky. That's what
I got you.
Yeah. But did it give you a boner at least or anything?
No.
Did you get nothing?
No, I haven't been hard since. No, I'm kidding. But it's like,
dude,
for $19, you should be allowed to fuck the smoothie. I mean, it should be turned into like a Cronenberg fleshlight or something.
Yeah. For those listening, our former guest, a couple episodes deep, Dean Romania, Dean Thomas, herbalist. He used to work there, and not him, but there was another guy that was kind of like a YouTuber guy, herbalist dude, younger dude, who he used to open up like deer placenta capsules and put them straight into smoothies at Erewhon just for reference, or ground up ants
against people's will, or
I think it was non-consensual. No, I don't know. But those are like $1 a pop. Like,
there's a violated woman in the Erowhon bathroom, and he's like, "Oh, it was the deer placenta, not this other thing that I put in there."
Well, I like Dragon Herbs, which is definitely one of my favorite companies. They're hilarious. They rock, but they have deer placenta you can extract, which you can buy in capsules, and it's hella expensive. But then they sell goat placenta, and it's like half the cost. So you can do like some knockoff ass goat placenta instead of deer.
God, can you imagine the total loser that sips it and goes, "That's goat."
I'm kidding. This is the goat. Blind taste.
No, I get how your guys are making money off this. I was wondering, and I found it.
Notes of cherry and goat.
And guess what? I'm the only guy who can tell. You guys can keep going. I can tell. It's just like those type of people.
Totally.
Yeah. It's
sommelier. We'll send a sommelier.
Yeah. The guy just starts like eyeballing women. He's just like looking. He's like, she's like, "Are you doing like an upskirt picture?" He's like, "Oh yeah, but no, it's something else." Or like going to pregnant women, just being like, "Hey, so you guys like doing a traditional birth?" And like, yeah. It's like, can you tell them to save the
placenta,
the pee? Save the pee, and then take
word, dude.
We're gonna get you right back to the episode, but I just wanted to let you guys know of a few other things we offer at Rare Candy Industries. We have a Substack with free and paid subscription options. Free subscribers get access to all written content. That includes Bob's Red Pill. That's the best thing going on the internet right now. Trust me. Paid subscribers get full access to our premium episode feed. And that's just every episode we don't necessarily want to share with the general public, if you know what I'm saying. Again, that's rarecandy.substack.com. We also have merch. That link's a little long for me to say right now, but go to the description, go to our merch store, and find a shirt that's right for you. We have Rare Candy shirts, Dr. Bronner soap label shirts, Rishi mushroom shirts, all types of stuff there. Check it out. There's got to be something for you. And lastly, check us out on social media. On Instagram, we're Rare Candy Pod, but on Twitter, we're at Rare Candy Pod 1. All right, enough of that. Let's get you back into the episode. Yeah, I don't see what the big issue is with that.
No, I mean, well,
is there I guess what I was going to do, is there an objection on your part?
No, 100%.
Well, I mean, animal product is what I was
getting. I don't even, I'm very far, because we're talking about like kids and stuff. It's like, I don't even care about that for kids. Like, I'll raise them semi like what we do, but I care. There's way more important shit on my list of priorities than that. You know what I mean? In terms of animal, I mean, I think people get the wrong idea about me because I spurg and write articles and shit on this, like online, you know, and it's almost easier to me be friends with like a cool, healthy, like a Eben, like a omnivore dude, than it is with any fucking strict ass vegan activist type dude, like bar none, dude. And but no, with the placenta thing, I mean, yeah, I would, if I was a woman, I would do that, and I would take the dragon herb stuff, because the thing is men lose all their jing from busting nuts, basically, you know, and which is like, that's our cross to bear. Women don't have that issue, and women lose it from childbirth, you know, because they literally their bone marrow just gets sucked up into this baby, and then, which is why like a woman that cranks out 10 of them is like kind of special, because you know, so it's really good for to replenish the jing from a woman's perspective post pregnancy, and that it helps with postpartum depression, all sorts of stuff. A lot of times depression, you're just literally deficient in shit, you know, or you're run down. You know?
I think also it might add that I think I have no way of saying, this is just anecdotal. I think some women, when they have kids, they lose some IQ. No, like, I mean, it makes sense, right? A kid could just be like, well,
classic rare candy take, dude.
No,
I don't think you're wrong.
Have you seen though, like some of those women that just have like 4 kids, and maybe they're just so locked in on that, and they don't like experience the rest of the world, but like you'll talk to them
this is hilarious,
and they'll just be like, you'll be like, dude, I knew you like 10 years ago. You were not like retarded. and it's sometimes like they're just like, just really forgetful, like, and just really, and I look, again, tough. That's a tough job, you know, having like that and stuff. But I was always wondering, like, do you think there's a way that like just, I mean, you get so much from the mom, right? Like all these other things, all these nutrients and stuff. It's like maybe just like 10 IQ pops off per. And after that point, you're a happy mother, and you just love life. So it's like whatever. And then, like, to be honest, it might be.
Dude, do you want a high IQ mom? I jest, but I mean, like, Gone Girl. Do you want?
I have one. Yeah.
Is Gone Girl gonna be? Yeah, exactly. Is fucking Amazing Amy a good mom? Dude, she's clearly like a 160 IQ. You know,
I haven't yet written the sequel, so no. Maybe we'll find out if she's an amazing. No, it's true.
I think
I just wonder, like, if some goes away, like, because I've seen a couple of like the trad chicks on like Twitter will say that they'll be like, when all the based guys fall asleep at 9 after reading C.S. Lewis, like they can't police them, they'll tweet and they'll be like, I feel like slightly like stupid, or like just a little. Like, I love it, but like I feel like a little dumb, or just like maybe something was lost slightly.
I mean, we jest, but I do think it probably radically increases your openness from a psychological standpoint. It's like a psychedelic experience. You're having these kids. You're just like, you never. And I don't say this in a bad way, but like, women love their kids more than they love their husband. Like, that's just the natural order of things, and it should be that way. You know, it's like, it's like, and it's. Yeah, I'm not saying women don't love their husbands or anything. Don't Kathy Jordan Peterson me or whatever, you know. But it's like, I do think that it just radically increases your openness, and that can probably it's probably just changes your brain chemistry a little bit. Dude, people we listen to this, the wrong type of person listening to this would write us off as a dude.
Just asking a question. I'd be happy for someone to send me a scientific journal of like of it. I mean, not that I would read it, but like if they sent me a scientific journal about like, you know, saying like, no, that's actually not the case, I'd be like, I guess I've just been, you know, having weird anecdotal experience. Again, I think a lot of it is like you're locked in, like life becomes about other things. So like you just perhaps you're just not saying, like, you're like, okay, yeah, I don't want to talk to you about this random thing that, you know, life is different now. So perhaps that's it. But I just had, I noticed from a couple, the ones that crank out like a bunch, I was just like, okay, like there's like, after a while, like they kind of just are like,
maybe that's why
you know,
maybe that's why like the feminist thing is so opposed subconsciously to the Handmaid's Tale kind of vibe. You know, they're protecting their kernel of you know, like, by any means necessary, like you can't take away my agency, be it intelligence or whatever. Maybe that factors in. I don't know, just spitballing here.
I know, exactly. It's like they're like, I know their idea of the Handmaid's Tale is when they get like dragged into the room with like one of those like fucking things where you're locked in and stuff like in medieval times. And
Dude, that'd be so.
They
Go ahead.
when they measure the IQ and it's like 180. It's like, we've got to do something about this terribly smart woman. Like, we've got
or just some like just some Joseph Mengele shit, just keep impregnating women and testing them immediately upon birth. It's like, all right, here, like rotate the square into this corner right here 4 times.
Like, inconclusive. I guess we have to do it again. I'm almost there. We can publish like primer. We can publish. These chicks are retarded, dude.
We found time. Exactly. We found time travel. Let's publish it. And everybody, that's the most science.
You're just bleeding. You're just bleeding from the ears from busting like 40 times a day. In your little suit and tie, your little office gear and stuff, like in your garage.
Do you think the second nut babies are worse than the first nut babies? Like,
what does that, I mean? Describe second. What do you mean?
What if you're fooling
You're
around
talking
with
about the one that won, or like?
No. I mean, it's like, what if you? Yeah, kind of like, what if you're fooling around with a girl and like, you bust in a non-vaginal area, and then you'd go round 2, same night, inside, pregnant. You think those babies are like autistic?
I think they're resilient.
Because they're like, they're warriors.
I mean, like, because I don't know. That's a good question. I think
when all the base girls were asking their moms whether they orgasm during their conception, because that's like they get insoled. Remember that couple days on Twitter or whatever?
You see why I posed the question of why they become a little bit retarded?
I low-key agree with them, dude. I can't imagine being a woman and getting pregnant when you didn't orgasm. Like, you're like, it's like 3 seconds and it's done, dude. I don't know, man.
I mean, literally, how like medieval time? Do you think they were like?
No.
Do you think in like the medieval times they were like, they're like, well, I got to make sure she gets.
That's a recent development.
I think busting early was like a time saving thing. They were just like
100%.
Dude, I'm like, I'm gonna live till 37.
God made it that way, dude. God made it. It's like,
I'm gonna be beheaded in 2 weeks. Like, I'm not gonna spend time doing this. I just
this is an all-time clip, dude. This is all-time.
No, I mean, like, asking your mom, like, that's like some like Meryl Streep ass like acting role. It's like, Mom, yes, honey, and she goes in the kitchen like with her glasses, like in her like Julia Child stuff, and it's just like, I don't know how to ask you this, Mom, but did you finish when you made me? It's like, the mom's just like, I don't know, we were hammered, like, like it was on a cruise, and then I feel like some people are so impressionable that they then just buy into the way they were conceived. Like, I was hyper planned to the point that
you were planned.
I was planned.
You were like almost in vitro level planned,
I wish they had just told me that it was just regular. I didn't ask. That's the funny thing. I'm like, why are you guys telling me this? And it was just like, the 7th inning of the game's on. Like, why are we talking about this?
We need to sit down and have a talk.
And they were.
I was 100% accident. I was the last.
The age. I mean,
one.
you could just add up your brother and sister's age and then yours, and it's quite simple.
No plan there.
No one's like after 8 years going like, let's so that one for sure, that makes sense. But like, my mom was just like, and like, it was your dad's birthday. I'm like, dude, I don't want to
celebrate.
Which am I that?
So you're 3 months behind your dad in birth?
Dad's birthday bust, dude. Like, you got to be alpha at that point, right? Like, I don't know.
100%.
Hopefully. I mean, it's the one thing I could claim to. Thing is, I'm not even trying to say like, having kids makes you retarded, like, don't do it. I'm just like, I wonder if that just is like, it's okay to do that. Like, that's kind of like, if you're just a smart guy towards the end of your life, it's just like, did you use your IQ, or like a woman doing the same way? It's like, did you use it all? Because I'm, again, not really an IQ guy, but there's just like, it's like, share some,
and look at what we do with our IQ.
Brain dump. Just dump it out. If it stays in, dude, it starts festering and like eating at me.
I do think there are probably a lot of weird little nuances to pregnancy and having kids and that whole scene that are politically incorrect, and that will maybe some future advanced race of aliens or humans would be like, oh yeah, it's that way, but you guys couldn't talk about it in 2020 or whatever. You know what I mean? But I think there's all sorts of little things like that for sure.
Yeah, if you guys want a 4,200 AD take, listen to RC.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
leave us a review, by the way, guys. We need some reviews on Apple.
Our takes are so advanced that we're ahead of our time, dude. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, leave us a review on Apple, Spotify, do all that stuff. It really helps. I like that it populates more and gets us suggested. Because, dude, what if you stumbled in on this conversation? I mean, you'd be like, wow, dude, this is meant to happen. This was Valis pink beamed into my brain. You know, that's probably what my dad's bust was really. It was a Valis pink beam, dude.
It was a pink beam in straight into
the vagina. He's like, I created just an absolute. Probably not. It's probably not all great, but like I created something special.
Hell yeah.
So yeah,
man. Yeah. 100%.
But we got to talk.
What if that's the only orgasm your dad ever had throughout his marriage? It was just to make like some weird religious shit.
It was just like, what happened? Exactly. But it's definitely it's definitely interesting because like that all week I've been hearing about like reproductive rights because of the debate, because that's like a big thing. Everyone just gets scared about that. People are so single.
The only issue people care during it's debate time.
Oh, single issue, and it's like such West Wing style, like, and if the states, and then the doctors, and the state, and this doctor, and I'm just like, okay, whatever, I don't care. And it's people in California where I'm like, dude, that shit's so codified into law here. Like, it's just they're not gonna do that.
Won't California like pay for your flight to come get one from Missouri or something?
Yes, but we can't pick up like literal human shit off the sidewalk. Yeah, invest in like a pressure washer. Yeah, it's just like, dude, come on. Like they won't do stuff like that. But anyways, like I just laughed because I overheard a conversation of people talking about like abortion, and they were talking about a big massive pro-life guy was Jim Harbaugh, was the current coach of the Chargers, is like an activist for like pro-life, and they were like shocked by it because I was in Southern California.
Now he's a fucking SoCal, exactly.
Yeah, like, and they're shocked, and he's an LA guy, and they're just like, that's just like so fucked up. Like I don't understand, but it's funny because like I'm gonna clown Harbaugh a lot for a long time, and I always have. But one thing he does, I think we talked about it once, but he tells his player when he was at Michigan, he would be like, guys, if you bust inside, we'll figure something out. Yeah. Like, he's like, we'll figure something out. We'll like help you with the adoption process. Like, we'll literally like do something. They're like, don't get an abortion. They're just like, be safe, don't be stupid. But like, if you are, like, don't pay for the abortion. And like, there were people that were talking about like, isn't that evil? I'm like, no. That's literally the opposite of evil.
Yeah. I never understood that. I hate that was all, even when I was like way more into the progressive scene, I would hear people talk about that, and I'd be like, "These fucking guys want to adopt kids," and I'm like, "Wait, that's bad now? Is that what we're doing?" And
because you might adopt a black kid and touch his hair on accident. Then you create, you know,
just Blake Corum's daughter's hair.
Jordan Peele. Yeah, you create the next Jordan Peele when that happens.
Yeah, exactly. What about John though? What's John Boy?
I would imagine the same way.
Pro-abortion guy.
That'd be so funny. Yeah, because I mean, maybe it's a special teams thing, but but I'm just imagining like, especially because he's a college football coach, where I'm like, wait, do you guys think that there's like libtard college football coaches?
I know.
I'm like, that college football is like chud nation sport, like anywhere. And you're, dude, how mad would you be? Even if you were like a lib, like kind of activist, like Justin Herbert, NFL style player, like if your coach was like espousing like Russiagate stuff, like, oh my God, can you imagine? Or like abortion, like, dude, if you listen to like Mike Gundy, the coach of Oklahoma State, is like the guy. If you look him up, he just looks like a straight up like chud visor curl coming out of the Kentucky waterfall coming out in the back, and he's like, I don't know. To me, I would be like the complete other way around. Like, you know, the coaches are apolitical, but they're also really understanding people a lot of times because coaches have to deal with so many personalities. Yeah. So they're always like, they might go out in there and say, I think this politically. But like with their players, they're like, dude, I just fucking just do the Oklahoma drill, please. Like, you know, like they just do. Dude. And they'll say like, to me, like a coach, dude, if I coach on my recruiting pitch, if it becomes an issue on like my recruiting pitch, if I have to recruit some like families from like liberal feminist moms, I'll just go, I'll sit down. I'll just be like, she's like, well, so what's your take on this? If my son's going to go there, I want to know he's not going with a chauvinist pig to a college university. I'd be like, Okay, well, now I do think abortion is murder, but I do make an exception if that baby was going to commit to Oklahoma, not Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
So, I'm not staunch about it, but,
No,
just
it's
don't.
like, and like you said, the respect of your player, like, it's like the Shane Gillis joke. Like, you don't want an MSNBC dad. Like, I think it's time we start taking the climate seriously. Like, I didn't know dad was gay,
Like, mom, you like expect
Yeah.
it. You're just like,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Yeah. Football
like-
coach, dude, like, if your football coach is like pro-trans, dude, you're going 0-10, dude. You're going like,
Well,
dude, it's like
the thing is your football coach could be pro-trans, but just politically shouldn't be pro-trans. Like, he might just go like,
yeah.
he might just go look for a Hunter Schafer somewhere after.
He's bro
just
trans.
Yeah, he
all
might
that.
just
Bro
get down
Yeah.
like that, and then like, yeah, you don't want to find out about that or anything. But like, I could see that happening. But
Like,
then
if you're a
he's
liberal and you want to win, you want your team to win at football, you shouldn't. You got to pick one or the other. One or the
like,
other.
can you imagine like coach calls you into the office, like football coach, and he comes in, he's like, and then all of a sudden like he like flicks the TV off and he just looks at you and he's like, sit down. He's like, fucking DeSantis,
Yeah.
like, and just like, can you imagine that? Like, I just wouldn't feel like I was on it, regardless of my politics. I wouldn't feel like I was in the right area. There's certain things that are just meant to be conservative, but these people operate from this zero COVID, zero racism, zero immigration,
ridiculous.
zero that like anything, like it's all zero, like get to zero. And that's how like libs are right now. There can't be a conservative anywhere. Like you talk to them, they like conservatives acknowledge that like libtards exist and that they're just gonna be there. They're always gonna be there. It's a biblical thing. Evil will always exist in the world. It's up to you to try to
and the process of trying to root out the last X of anything is A, it's insane, and B, it never works, and it's like accomplishes the exact opposite of what you want to, which is another thing why like the whole vaccine thing, we need to eradicate every disease and in the process like injure a bunch of kids, and stuff. It's like there's always a trade-off. No, it's dude, I can't imagine. One of my favorite football memories from high school is when we were prepping to play this one team. It was an important game, and they chose us for homecoming because they thought we were going to lose. And I guess their coach told our coach, like, hey, we're going to wear this combo jersey, so we need you to wear your white jerseys and your black pants. Can you do that? And my coach was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So he calls a meeting with all of us. He's like, all right, so we have to wear the black pants this week because it's their thing, blah, blah, blah. And then he just looks at us, and you could tell he's so pissed off. And he looks at us, he's like, we're gonna let them wear their faggot blue, and we're gonna beat the shit out of them. And we all started crying, laughing. Dude. I was like, yeah, faggot blue, dude.
Can you imagine that, dude? Can you imagine just not having that bond as a young man?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, that is the case now. Like, a coach can't say that now. Like, they can't like just they can't be like it's literally, they call it locker room talk, and then they don't even want it to be in the locker room.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that's what.
We're in the locker room, so why can't I speak like that? Well, could be anyone in the locker room.
It started with the Trump thing, like with the Trump, with the tapes or whatever. Like, we recorded the Trump tapes talking about pussy or whatever. That all
grabbing the pussy. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, this debate. I sat down and watched it. I was watching it on a delay because my wife wasn't home from work yet, and so I recorded it, and we were going to watch it together. So already going on Twitter, it was looking like, all right, like Biden's not doing well. Trump is people made Trump out, upon watching it, they made Trump out to be like he was up there just shooting like bazookas out there. Like, he really wasn't. And I think that's strategically a good thing. I know Milo Yiannopoulos was actually like, no, like right now Trump needs this debate for Trump is only about getting a moderate Republican to be loyal. That's like what it's not. No liberal's going to vote for Trump right now. Like, it's just not going to happen. He's not there to please them, but he needs to do this kind of. We don't want him to, because the reason I like him is his actual like just kind of like shoot from the hip style, kind of outsider personality. But
he seemed chill at like his answers to you. I saw he was just like, very like almost deadpan.
Yeah, he was kind of, and that's kind of more or less what like I just want someone presidential, like Republicans. Like, I'm tired of like, boomers, extremely boomer thing to care about the presidential attitude.
Presidential's not a real word. It literally just means the president with whatever,
It was a Youngbloods song, presidential shit, George Cush. Yeah, I remember that. But that was, so there was definitely a lot of that, and I think he did a good job. I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, it was kind of like boring." And what's funny is like people, Biden bombed out. I mean, he looked horrible. He's clearly a sundowner. Like it's clearly a Alzheimer's kind of thing that he has. Because the next day they said at the excuse that he had a cold. They're like, "Oh, he had a cold," and he was just like. The next day he was like firing off at like 10 a.m. at some place, and he looked like he was like amped. He was like like 2018 Biden. Like he was just he was firing it off at this thing, and he's like, "I'm old, so what?" He was just doing that thing, and like, yeah, guys, at least I'm not a liar. He does that,
dude. That's so beta. Doing and the next day, like, actually, I didn't suck. It's like just give it a rest, man. It's
they are like the libs. It's really funny because. It's funny that like they couldn't be honest with themselves that like he isn't all there. Like they couldn't even admit to that reality, which everyone can see on a day-to-day basis.
I think they're more honest with it after that than they ever have been. Though,
That's what I'm saying though. Yeah. Now they're going like, oh my gosh, like they have to have this again. They can't say the conservatives were right. They can't do that, but they're kind of like, it's as though it's just now been exposed. Okay. It appears that now this president is not fit.
It was interesting. I had a conversation with a couple liberal friends and family just the other day, right after this happened. And it was interesting talking to them. It was very, and like, I keep it close to the chest. Like they know I'm crazy, but not like as full. They don't know the extent of how conspiratorial and hippie I am, and all that. But it's very like you could tell they were like they're like, this is bad, and like this is very dumb. Like you could tell people are jumping ship. It's very.
But they're not going to not vote for him though. That's the thing. Like that's why I was like, this debate didn't do anything for the Democratic Party. It makes them panic a little bit, and. I don't know that they have to replace him. Like everyone keeps saying that they have to replace him. And it's like, why? Who decided after, and I'm talking like a true Democrat, not like a moderate, maybe, yes, you want to keep the moderates if you're in a political party in a two-party system, but in their mind, no faithful MSNBC watcher is going to switch because their whole idea of Biden, they didn't care. It's anyone but Trump for them. It doesn't matter. Like they would like, it's not about voting for president. It's about for them. It's about stopping evil. And so when people make these statements about Newsom, the Newsom's the guy apparently, like everyone wants to replace him with, and I never hear it from anybody actually from California, by the way, because everyone knows people's idea of what Gavin Newsom is so strange because if anybody's like pro Newsom, like there's a young guy, this will be good, he's hip, he's got the look and everything. I'd be like, name one quote of his that you've ever thought was like just a bar. Because they're so into like Obama because of his speaking ability and like his like kind of like fake Spotify generated like rap takes that he has. Like people like him for that. But I'm like, what's the soundbite from Gavin Newsom that you're like, that's a leader, like that's the guy? So they don't need to, because you're replacing Biden with somebody who's like doesn't even have the track record of Biden. And to be fair, I'm one of those people where I'm like, I'm glad Biden doesn't have faculties, because on the off chance that he does win the second election, when Biden was sharp, he was more evil.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely, man, it's crazy when you listen to like a 1982 Biden clip.
He's scary.
Like, whoa, dude.
He's scary, dude. Like, dude, he's
he
like
got soft in his old age, dude. Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, when he's balding, like when he's like balding and shit, it's scary. Like, and so I'm like, look, whatever happens, like I would prefer to have some cadaver in a chair, like, like in a soft serve cone, like rather than what it actually is. But I will say, like, Trump, it's weird that what the Democrats are, the spot they're in right now. It's odd, because I want to get back to Newsom, because I have some more stuff about him. But it's funny the position that they're in, because like they can't do. I mean, I won't say can't. They can't like roll out a COVID right now because Biden's president. It doesn't work. Yeah. If he's the president during COVID, like during it has to be with like Trump's president.
Yeah.
Trump card, dude. And it's also that was at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
When the last election, like you need like a whole couple months of just quote unquote failure to react on their part. But again, it would be Biden failing to react or whatever. So they can't really do that. there's always the false flag stuff that could happen. I mean, always. I don't even want to get into it right now. We're on YouTube. It could be all. I think they're going to get really tight with censorship coming up soon, tighter than they already are. But there's definitely some like false flags, some like racial incidents and stuff. But like, look, Trump already kind of got what everyone thought was the big gotcha, right? Like Trump already got the arrested, convicted felon thing, and it kind of flopped.
Yeah,
like they're playing the hits for their core audience right now, the Democrats, but they're not.
And
expanding.
the thing is, Trump is raking in cash right now, and Biden's like dried up financially.
And they're not getting any new voters for Biden. There is no new vote. Nobody's like going, I'm gonna vote Biden right now. Like that wasn't already locked into it.
And it's a lot easier. And you know, we all know the election was fucking fortified or whatever.
Right.
But it's a lot easier. Irrespective of that, it's a lot easier for people to be like, we need to vote Trump out. I'm gonna, you know, pull up my pants and go and vote for Biden. Versus now, where it's like we got to keep Biden in. It's a whole different energy, right? Where no one really gives a shit about that. And they're like, most people I talk to that are liberal are like resigned to the fact that Trump's going to be president again. They're like, well, it's going to suck. It's going to, you know, and it's very, there's thing is like the people are scared of what's going to happen. I'm like, has the last 4 years been like
you already saw it
enough, dude? Like, yeah, it's like,
well, no, and you already like saw it. And I guess to them it was terrible.
What are you worried about?
I guess to them it was, but you know, back to the debate, like it was really strange because in the first 10 minutes, Trump hated on Biden. So obviously we know that the COVID vaccine came out under Trump's watch, Operation Warp Speed. We know this. But he was attacking Biden for mandating. He said that was like the dumbest thing you can do with it, which is I didn't expect him to actually even bring it up. Again, does that satisfy a lot of our core listeners? No, but it's interesting to hear that brought up. But Biden never said. He said people like died during the pandemic, but he never said anything about the vax.
Yeah.
So like, are they kind of like as a political strategy, are they abandoning the COVID vax? Is it that bad? I think it is. Yeah. I think it is like that.
They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a swept under the rug kind of thing. But instead they're moving to, so Biden, like all they were talking about was like Trump lying. And like, he was of course more articulate, but he was lying. And look, Trump speaks in exaggerated terms. Everything is the worst you've ever seen or the best you've ever seen. Craziest thing to ever happen to this country. Worst thing to happen to this country. He does that.
Known honest broker Biden, like known honest guy Biden. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
Biden said he got endorsed by the Border Patrol.
I know.
And the Border Patrol tweeted, they're like, at no point has that ever happened. Like, why would that happen?
Yeah. It's just these little things. And I know this is like dead horse and it's not like 2016 anymore or whatever, but it's like, what point did we stop what point did liberals forget that Biden like did a eulogy for like a eugenicist dude or whatever? You know, it's like all these little things where it's like it literally doesn't matter to you at all. It's all decorum. It's all appearances. And I mean, I know the answer. Yes, it is. But it's
to them, Trump. To them, Trump is Hitler, though. Like that's the thing. Like they literally think he's Hitler. Like it's
they're fooled by the personality, and then meanwhile, this like shadow thing is actively fucking them. The ones they're voting for. You know, it's crazy.
The take I found most frustrating about the debate was that it like the people that. Which is a kind of a panic move on like any kind of left-leaning media's watch, but I just hate it because it's such a cop-out because it's actually not true. Because we're like, we have two old geriatric like guys that can't make any sense. I'm like, no, Trump made perfect sense. Yeah, Trump made perfect sense. One guy doesn't make sense. Yeah.
I mean, I get what they're they're trying to say. You know, we need young blood. That's a fine take. Take. You know, but they're trying to like make Biden seem better, but trying to mix it all into one pudding.
It's both guys. Yeah, they're going. It's about like mermaid.
It's not. There's one is a lot worse than the other, and it's like, it's embarrassing to defend that, man. Like they see the walk off. I saw that clip, dude.
Yeah, no, it's actually like it's actually insane. I didn't hear a word from any of my like close family members. Like they were pretty bad. I watched the end of the CNN, like the quick like 10 minutes of like the CNN like fucking like, you know, Fox NFL Sunday ass thing where it's like talking to each other, but it's CNN. It was all these people. One of them was David Axelrod, the old like Obama guy, and then he said, he was like, look, at the end of the day, like debate performances, like who even gives a shit? Like just like they were doing.
The thing a winner would say. Dude.
They're like, there's a woman of color looking for access to reproductive rights. Do you think they care about how the debate went? Like they just do stuff like that, whatever.
Yeah,
I guess that's what you have to do. But there was like a couple people that were like old heads. They were like, this is bad. Like they were like, this is really bad. And look, all they're going to do is eventually they're just going to have to keep going at Trump. But I don't see them swapping people out. I see a lot of people talking about swapping people out because, again, Newsom. I mean, you're talking about Newsom.
Yeah. One more thing on the before we get into Newsom, just while it's on my mind is, again, because it was a unique circumstance because I usually don't find myself in those situations having those conversations with people, like politically in real life with family or friends or whatever. And one thing I've noticed, with maybe one notable exception in my personal life, all the Trump people are like closeted and kind of quiet about it and won't talk about it. And then, all the liberals feel very comfortable just spouting off everything. And I find that, I know we've talked about this before, but that's a very interesting dynamic where it reminds me of some other stuff too, where, it's like, usually if you're the person that's allowed to speak about things, there are absolutely certain aspects of your ideology that are corrupt and bankrupt. I'm not saying you're wrong about everything or whatever, or that if you don't like Trump, you're a bad person, or but it's like, I find it very funny that like it is and I'm not saying Trump, well, I don't know, maybe I am, that Trump is like the countercultural force.
It is.
Right
it's
now,
clearly countercultural right now.
Yeah. And it's like, seriously, like it's so easy to just be like the anti-Trump person. It's like talking about the weather.
They're not cool. Democrats aren't cool. They're just not. Like it's just there's nothing objectively cool about them. Like there's no like at most they're creating an apolitical generation, which I'm not exactly against. But
that's for
like
sure
they're kind of, because I don't, not a lot of them are going to be like ardent right wingers at the current age. Perhaps as they get older they might, but they're creating this kind of, there are people that if you just say like, well, they're going to stop, you have to speak in like hyperbolic, like panic terms. Like it's like, well, they're going to cut off any sort of health care for LGBTQ people in Florida if we don't get, Democrats elected everywhere. And like, they have to say that for people to even like perk an ear up. And then like God forbid that person actually looks into what is being said, and then you're like, oh, that's actually, none of that's true. This is just a weird platitude, like couched in a huge fear narrative that these people do. But I also, one more thing before we get to Newsom was Chevron with Techron. What the fuck is happening with Chevron? Why are people talking? Why are people talking?
Do you like it, dude?
Yes, but why are people talking? Dude, I heard that in the debate.
Chevron, dude.
Biden, it's like, dude, they ran with everything. There were two things that people, the libs ran with. The like sassy, like kind of epic lib posters that like really do the work for these guys. That one of them was black jobs, because Trump said black jobs, which, come on, that was one. They were like, well, what is a black job? It's like, you guys make memes about them every day. It's like, like black people, they're like Southwest Airlines, and all these like things. Like, it's like, look, it's obviously a working class job, obviously. Like, let's not be obtuse. Like, they're trying to like catch Trump in racism. It's like, you already think he's racist, so it doesn't, like, why would you use
it's
that?
Interesting that he's willing to talk about it. I think
he meant like black employment. It's like, whatever. It's always a fucking number that comes up in elections. So it's like he talks about it as black jobs, and then like they're like, what is a black job? Black people do it. It's like, that's not what he's saying. He's just saying like and like, again, weird time to like hyper like focus on certain groups during like the debate, but that's just the way it is. It's a CNN hosted debate, and so that was one of them. But Chevron, I still don't know what Chevron is, what they're talking about.
Yeah
Do you know?
I saw a thing explaining it where I don't claim to understand it, but it's where the way the decision started was there was this fishing company or fishing group that had to, the regulators were basically forcing them to pay $700 a day completely arbitrarily, just based on their decision. And, whatever the regulation for that is. And they kind of got wise to it. And they're like, why are you guys deciding exactly how much we have to pay every single day? You know, this huge bill, daily, weekly, monthly, affecting our bottom line. Like, why do you guys have that power? And they took it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court was like, oh shit, yeah, that's actually, regulators cannot just be unelected choosing their punishment or whatever kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's the gist of the origin of it, but I don't fucking know, man. And they don't know. I know they don't know. That's the whole thing. Like they don't fucking know what's, you know, everyone talking, yeah, like read up on Chevron or I'll explain it to you. And it's like, you didn't know this existed 3 days ago.
Yeah. And now again, I use the term all the time, 5-alarm fire, right? Like it's just straight up, just everywhere. Like it's panic mode. Chevron, can't believe if we get guys, if we don't vote for Biden, we're gonna get Chevron, and everyone's gonna be like, "What's Chevron?" Oh, I guess if I have to explain it to you, that's like
not my job to explain it to you.
I guess I at my black job apparently is to explain Chevron to people on Twitter, and it's like,
it's good work if you can get it.
I guess so. I mean, I guess so. Like I cannot stand these people that just like it was like the Lev Parnas thing in Russiagate. There were people that would just came up and started saying the name Lev Parnas randomly, and I'm like,
Lev Parnas.
Yeah, what are you saying? I was like, I just go like, can you like write that down and then read it to yourself? Like, what did you just say to me? Like, is this like a guy for Primus or something? Like, what did you say? Yeah, Lev Primus. Just a guy with a KFC bucket on his head, like going into a congressional hearing to talk about Trump. Which, if anybody would do it, it would be Les Claypool, but or Buckethead. I don't know if Buckethead's based or not, but probably not. I don't. I don't think so. But yeah, so Newsom is the guy that everybody people say Michelle Obama, which I remember was still maybe the worst Joe Rogan take ever, was that Michelle Obama needs to be president.
Was that a joke?
No, he used to say it quite often. Like when like I think Joe liked Bernie for sure, and like when Bernie kind of had his whole fall and it was looking like his obviously not a viable candidate. He was saying Rogan would be like, I just wish like Michelle Obama would run. And you're just like, why? Yeah. He's just like, man, she's the shit, dude. Just like, no, she's not. Yeah. Like,
from the 5 to the 6, we be in the mix with that red kidney paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, can't do shit.
But Newsom's the other guy, right? He's a governor, California governor. Look, we've had a California governor president before, Double R, Dragon. It's happened obviously from the right, but like I said, Newsom has no swag. Like people think he's like this, and like Republicans too, especially like the vaporwave like dudes on like Twitter, they think that he's like Patrick Bateman. Yeah. And like I know that's gonna be the Chapo thing if Newsom does get somehow. Is they're gonna be like fucking epic, like I gotta return some videotapes, like Newsom, like they have to always find like this Hunter Biden is based level angle to the Democrat politician during election time, and then once they win, they become the only voice allowed to critique it, and it's this very shrewd business move, to be honest. But Newsom is not cool. Like he doesn't do anything cool. There's like an old picture of him. I can't find it at the moment where he has, remember those shirts that used to have the parentheses red on them, like spy red, tie red. I don't know. Fuck that. Maybe that's one of them. They would have those. He has this old picture from like right before he was like mayor of San Francisco, dude. Zero swag whatsoever. Yeah. Like this was like a 10-year project to make him look like a Chris Collinsworth dude, like this was like this was a 10-year project, and he still can't speak for shit. So it's like you might like they're gonna have to just run Biden. I'll play this clip. By the way, Gavin Newsom, obviously his COVID response was like next level bad, especially given the optics of him being at French Laundry. Still one of the funniest things to ever happen. Obviously, but he goes on he went on News Nation, which shout out to him because News Nation is just straight like conservative. Like he like went on to talk to Adam Carolla on there, And I have the clip, and I absolutely love it. Adam Carolla just crushes him. This is the guy that they want to replace. It's like he can't even handle Adam Carolla.
Yeah.
Adam Carolla here. Governor, why did you shut the beaches in California during COVID?
Yeah, I think we all were working on information at the time. We had no basis of deeply understanding the virus. I think they did the same thing.
So you didn't know anything, so why'd you shut the beaches?
States like Florida.
If you didn't know anything, why'd you shut the beaches?
Well, we didn't know. Yeah, because people were concerned early in the pandemic. Information was coming out as it relates to how it was transferred, the disease, and people were cautious, trying to keep people alive. And I should say this,
so
Adam,
you didn't let them go in the
health, wealth,
sunshine and get vitamin
California
D
outperformed.
and exercise, so you shut the beaches. Okay. And you arrested a guy who was paddleboarding in the bay.
On health, wealth, and
yeah, any
it's always
science
good to see
behind
Adam.
that?
And,
Any science
we're
at
all
all behind
geniuses
shutting
in
outdoor
hindsight.
dining? Why'd you
We're all
shut down outdoor dining?
Go ahead, go.
Science?
It's good to see Adam.
Based on
So,
science,
look,
you didn't
at the end
have?
of the day, the debate tonight.
It's not a debate. You shut
I'm
down
looking
outdoor
forward to the
dining.
debate,
You canceled
compare and
businesses.
contrast
Had
tonight.
nothing to do with science.
All right, let him finish.
Keep lying. All right, go ahead.
All this happened in the.
He's
Dude, who is that guy? Dude?
who's who?
He's the guy.
Adam Carolla.
Oh, that's Carolla. Oh,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Adam,
that's right. Yeah.
He's.
I didn't put that together. I didn't know that he was.
Dude, Adam Carolla
that
is like old school
makes sense.
California.
Of course, now that I hear the voice, I'm like, of course, dude. That's
Old
crazy.
school California conservative, like
Dude.
just like.
And he's the only guy that could ask him that question. I was
No,
like, yeah,
he was on it early. The beaches, like, remember when they were filling skate parks full of sand?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
and
just
the
shit like
paddleboarder, dude. Paddleboarders in the bay, dude.
Arresting a paddleboarder.
Yeah.
Like, just like
Dude,
I
that's-
like to say, if you didn't know, why was it so extreme? That you only
I
do
heard
that
you-
if you.
I heard you talking about Carolla earlier this way. I didn't put it together that was, yeah. Okay. Damn, that's dude, that's so sick, dude.
He's
was
gonna
so
bomb it. Do you think Trump? Okay, put him on the debate stage against Trump. It's even worse. Guess
Yeah.
what? Donald Trump or Gavin Newsom lost his ex-wife to Donald Trump Jr. Do you think that's a good debate scenario?
Yo, I totally forgot about that. That's crazy,
dude. If you're, dude, you want to talk about a guy busting non-lethal ropes?
Yeah.
Like you're talking about like a woman who is like your libtard opportunist political.
Dude, his first
consultant
bust
wife.
is like our third, dude. Let's just say that. Dude.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys like that's just running on water, like
Yeah.
you know, like just
watery
like,
ass,
leaky hose. But
it's funny. It's funny, real quick, because I just made one of those clips the other day, and I came across the old ones of Gavin crossing up the 7-year-old Chinese kid.
It's one of the best, dude. Exactly, like he's not good. People think, and it's nobody from California. It's always somebody from like another state, and they're like, well, they have that charismatic governor over there. I was like, which one?
Yeah.
We don't have one. Like he just looked like, again, there's gonna be the wine mom thing. He's also white too. He's like, so it's like you can't really do the like, you know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like fawning over like the white guy. It's not really a thing anymore on the left. Like they might still do it, but it doesn't. It kind of drop. They're just really mad they don't have a black dude to run right now, or a black chick, and they're just really, until they get that. I don't think that anybody's going to get super excited about any one particular like Democrat candidate. You know?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Exactly. So I wouldn't fear that. If anybody's like fearing Newsom, trust me, we fear him for other reasons in the state, but. To be honest, he was inserted there. He's by marriage a Pelosi. A lot of people don't realize. Definitely a Getty oil guy, like JP Getty, John Paul Getty, or whatever his name is, like the big oil tycoon. There's rumors that he had him basically installed in there, and it's like, look, if that's enough to get you to the White House over Trump, I don't think it is. But I don't think it's. Who's voting for? Who's not voting for? Or I'll say it like this. Who's voting for Newsom as a Democrat that wouldn't be voting for Biden to begin with? So it's like it doesn't change anything. And I don't think definitely moderate Republicans, which a lot of those guys are in California, like moderate kind of like boomer Republicans, they're not voting for Newsom.
No.
That makes their decision clear, in my opinion.
What if Newsom ran and lost California, dude?
Dude. I mean, he almost got recalled. He didn't almost get recalled, but it actually went to an election. Like Larry Elder came for him. Like it was,
young Elder,
he got washed.
Elder wand,
yeah,
dude.
The Elder ones, dude. Lovecraft, like it's just Larry Elder coming from the crypts,
dude.
and but yeah, it was. I just, that's all I'll say about that for now. But like,
it hits different for you because you're in the state. I'm not in the state anymore.
yeah.
Like currently, I don't even know who the fucking Oregon governor is anymore. Dude. It's like
No,
I don't even.
I mean, he's just been here forever. He's been the mayor of San Francisco and
Yeah.
then the governor of California. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know, not that big of a deal. But like, yeah, you go to like certain states, man, like Bakersfield or something in California. I mean, not or certain cities in California, like Bakersfield, Fresno, and stuff. It's not Newsom country out there. He has the state. He's very concentrated in the cities. The cities are very powerful out there. But the rural part, it's all still like get Newsom out of there, recall Newsom and stuff, and like. Bakersfield is the home of the band Korn, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Korn with a K, not GMO corn, but
QUORN, the mock meat product in grocery stores in Erewhon. Yeah,
that's true. It started from Bakersfield, of course,
Yeah.
but like Korn makes that like somber, heavy rap rock molested music that we all knew and loved in 2001. And if you want to know what Bakersfield's like, just listen to a Korn song, because Korn songs all sound like you're in a little league dugout in 104-degree heat and you're with you and just your baseball coach and something weird's happening.
Yeah, you're definitely I'll put it this way: you either become Korn or you become Derek Carr, quarterback of the New Orleans Saints.
Dude, he should switch his name to Derek Carr with a K, dude, and then go full
Derek Korn,
dude. and then just get like weird white guy dreads and stuff.
Yeah. Well, the memes always have him with the eyeliner anyway. What the fuck.
Yeah, because he was like 30 Seconds to Mars and Jared Leto shit. Now he needs to go do Derek Korn, dude, and he just links up with
Derek Incubus.
Oh, that'd be so tight. But so lastly, we have a couple voicemails today. I think that will take us through the time. We'll be doing 2 solo eps this week. One on the paywall, one on the free feed, of course. This will be the free one, so you get to hear about women's IQ and children and all that stuff. That'll be for free for everybody.
You serve that one up. I watched it fall. I love women, dude. I love their IQs.
They gain it. They gain.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they get sharper as they get older. Yeah,
that's not true, but is it? Yeah.
Now who's a misogynist?
No,
I believe they actually gain 30 to 40 IQ points by the time they.
What if you only gain it if you're a girl boss mom?
That's true.
What if it's like a epiphenomenon? Like we clown on them, but they can't help it. They just become stronger in their careers the more kids they have.
All of a sudden, their head just gets larger, like literally.
Like Jeff Bezos' South Park episode.
Yeah, their head just becomes like massive. They just have this like 4-gallon water tank head, like out of nowhere. It's just like they're just like, oh yeah, no, I run. I run Rakuten now or something, but they. So we have a couple of voicemails. Again, if you want to leave a voicemail at any time, go to 510-256-9850. Leave a voicemail. Speak clearly. Both guys today did for sure. Sometimes people get a little nervous. They try a couple times. It's okay. I picked the best one out of the 3. But speak clearly. And if you're just like, I'm not a speaker, it's not my thing, email at rarecandyindustries@gmail.com. You could send your question in there. It doesn't have to be a question. Could be a comment. Could be anything. Could be. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, I want to hear your concerns, dude.
I hear about fucking concerns every day of my life from everybody, but I want to hear like, oh, you guys were talking about this. Can you explain that a little more? Anything like that. Anything like that. I'm down to hear. Even a funny take. If you have a funny take, you're like, hey, I'm testing this take out.
Especially
like a schizo take. I'd love to hear it. So send it in there. Again, 510-256-9850. First one is from T-Dog. Now, some of you guys don't know T-Dog, but when you address him as sir. He's a 5-star unvaccinated Army general. So show some respect. Unlike that guy, that the general that got fired by Trump. That is the funny. Biden kept trying to throw that in his face. He's like, "You fired a general," and Trump was like, "That's a fucking loser." Like, because he kept saying like, the guy's a fucking loser. And and he was saying because I guess the guy lied that Trump's called all the guys who died at like one thing in a military thing, he called them losers at their funeral. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure that happened, and there's no video evidence of any of this. And he's like, yeah, of course I fired that guy. He lied. So this is the first voicemail. Here we go from T-Dog.
What's up, Rare Candy? This is T-Dog. Long time listener, first time caller.
Hell yeah.
Well, so recently I bought some raw milk. It's not really available too much where I live, but someone called me retarded for drinking raw milk, and kind of forgot what it was like, like 'cause people would be like, "You're retarded, get vaccinated," or whatever. But what's a good rebuttal when people say, call you out or whatever for doing maybe non-traditional, or not even traditional, just non-mainstream health things?
Thank you for the compliment, dude. That's what I would say.
Yeah. No, here's a good one. First off, I'll say no. I'm raw-tarded. Play with it. Have fun. Seriously, like play with it and have fun. Or the other one, I go, you look, man, that's the beauty of this country is we're all different and diverse, and everybody's allowed to do this thing. If you throw that thing back in their face, you then have to watch them abandon it.
Yeah.
If they're serious.
Also, are they like a dirtbag leftist? Because I'm confused by them saying the word retarded while criticizing something cool. Usually that's our thing, is like,
yeah.
And it's like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, I feel like the most anti-raw milk people are also like, don't say the R word. And it's kind of like at least slightly Venn diagram. No,
maybe. I think he's of a younger kind of demographic where it's just kind of like the bros hanging out. Perhaps some more left-leaning bros might be still dropping the R bomb on him, and maybe they use their R words on T-Dog because they know he won't tattle.
Yes, it's a safe space.
Yes,
yeah. And you could always bring up my I don't really do any of this shit in real life, of course, but you could always bring up the booster. What are we at? We just hit 11 booster shots, 11 total COVID shots now. So you could call them out for, if let's say they've had 3 or 4, you could call them out for not being CDC compliant with the latest vaccine mandate guidelines. And again, like, why are you anti-science? Why haven't you had the latest 7 boosters? I didn't know you were an anti-vaxxer. You could kind of, if you wanted to get like really deep into the weeds with it, that's always a good strategy. I've never heard I've never used that, and it always goes dark right after that. There's no response to that, because they know.
I always just say, like, what the fuck do you give a shit? I always say that to people. Like, I'm just like, when people comment on that, I just go like, yeah, whatever. Maybe I am. Let's see. And I will say it is strange, right? Because Louis Pasteur, right? Louis Pasteur must be the villain for all these guys, right?
Well, there's a big debate. There's always been this. I don't know if it's fake news or not, but based people always. I've heard this going back, even books like in the 80s and shit talking about this, like for like even raw foodists that I followed and stuff. Where like, Louis Pasteur on his deathbed says that his whole thing was wrong, and that because there was like a terrain theory, bro,
like L. Ron Hubbard or something.
Yeah, no, more like Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison. Imagine Thomas Edison on his deathbed being like, "I was a fag. Edison was the cool one." Actually, that's what supposedly Louis Pasteur did on his deathbed. He's like, "My whole shit was a lie. I just kept on going with it because of ego. The terrain theory guy is actually the correct guy."
I see.
So apparently he said that on his deathbed. But the raw milk thing, it's like, okay, it's fine. Okay, if you want to call me retarded for drinking raw milk, that's fine. But do you support the FDA having armed guards break into farms and confiscate the milk? Like, are you pro that? Because that's another thing where it's like, yeah, you could think I'm a dumbass, but do you support like the FDA being a wing of the military, basically like against its own citizens? So I think that's interesting. Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. And like, to me, I think it's so strange when you look at it. And I know you can't look at everything like this, right? You can't look at every innovation we have as a bastardization or something, but it's kind of odd that people can demonize somebody for like drinking this thing that like they might view as like essential in life. And it's like, well, I'm just drinking it straight from the source. And they're like, no, there needs to be this process that needs to be done. You're like, well, I'm healthier. I feel good. I mean, I'll be real. Like my wife has used it in some of the smoothies. We have the raw kefir and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, this agrees. Like this agrees with me better than a lot of pasteurized milk does. And then in tune, it does help with the gut health and stuff.
I do feel that a lot of issues with milk are due to wrong breed of cow, wrong method of pasteurization, if pasteurization at all.
The girl boss cow.
Yeah, and of course, factory farming and literally being like fecal matter and pus cells in the milk that you're drinking. That's a big. But the whole thing is like, because you guys know I'm not really a big milk or dairy guy, but I've always supported food freedom from the fucking corrupt ass Nazi FDA bullshit, and it's crazy. There is a method of pasteurization that I learned this from Alton Brown actually on Good Eats, where you can old school, where you can pasteurize milk at a lower temperature, still hot but lower temperature for longer, maybe takes like 15 minutes or half an hour, and it does preserve a lot of the nutrients and flavor components and stuff. But because it's so economically inviable to spend all that time pasteurizing a giant tank of milk, they just flash pasteurize it at super high temp and cook it basically. And so you could have good pasteurized milk, like lower temp pasteurized milk or raw milk. And I agree with you. I think kefir is the upgrade. Like kefir is a straight superfood. Where it's if you have kefir, even you could take shitty milk and turn it into kefir, and it would be net beneficial. Like even though it will have bad stuff in there,
like edible. It's like making edibles with not that good of weed. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
But by the way, I meant to say this when we played the Adam Carolla clip with Gavin Newsom. But shout out to Waka, Flocka Kafka, I think is his @ he something like that. But he's been around us for a while and stuff. But I remember he found the original article in California where it says scientists are unsure of coronavirus effects at the beach. Because as we said, Adam Carolla was asking Gavin Newsom, why'd you close the beach if you were unsure? Yeah. And why is it again, it's a beta trait for a man to just panic that. Like even that's kind of what he's getting at. He's like, hey, if you didn't know, why'd you turn into a girl?
And you gotta have a response ready because you did it. And you know what I mean? Like you had years to prepare for this moment of an enemy asking you a tough question.
Yeah. So it says this, and this is from the LA Times, April 2nd, 2020. And Kim Prather, a leading atmospheric chemist at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography, wants to yell out her window at every surfer, runner, and biker she spots along the San Diego coast. Quote, I wouldn't go in the water if you paid me $1 million right now, she said.
A mil? God
damn,
dude.
Dog, I would get the
I would get the Johnson and Johnson for $1 million, dude. Yeah, dude.
True,
come on, dude.
True. Yeah, true. No,
just take some zeolite right before and just be good. Yeah,
dude. There's a lot. I mean, and it's funny because she probably makes like $900,000 a year, so it's like not that big of like a thing, like for her, like she's like, well, I make it doing retarded science, so it's so much better. It says many beachgoers know that they can suffer skin rashes, stomach illness, and serious ear and respiratory infections if they go in the water within 3 days of a heavy rain because of bacteria and pathogens washing off the roads into the ocean. Also feels fake, to be honest.
But, what the fuck?
Ocean? Many of them know. No, they don't. They're out there all the time. I love how she has like a beach property too, and all this, like where she's like yelling at people. It's like, wow, I'm glad you bought that house. Prather fears that SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, could enter coastal waters in similar ways and transfer back into the air along the coast. God, what?
God.
Yeah, it's like that was never the thing. No. And then she does the quote. In her research, Prather has found that the ocean churns up all types of particulate and microscopic pathogens. What is this, Solaris? And every time the ocean sneezes with a big wave or two, it sprays these particles into the air. She believes. How many kids did this chick have,
dude?
That's just one. I'm just saying, like, there's, I don't know,
Dude.
but she believes that this new coronavirus is light enough to float through the air much further than we think. The 6 feet physical distancing rule, she said, doesn't apply at the beach. Again, 6 feet distancing rule, which we know is real and not made up by Bucky. I agree, it doesn't apply. I agree, it doesn't apply.
Yeah, we need a bigger distance between us, dude.
Where so coastal winds can get quite strong and send viral particles soaring. Yeah. It's like, dude,
we need to get Gavin Newsom on this immediately, dude.
She makes it like a Michael Bay movie, like where it's like Michael Bay ocean water thing. But yeah, then her quote, of course, there's 2 quotes here. These are amazing. It's not going to kill you to miss a few surfing sessions. Have you met a surfer, by the way? Yes, it would. It kills you. Yeah. But it could if you go out there and get into the wrong air.
Yeah.
Then her other quote: "You can't see the virus, you can't smell it. It's a real silent killer right now." It's like amazing. Just
this
amazing.
Is COVID we're talking about.
This was April 2nd, 20. This is like full airborne AIDS era and stuff. So yeah, amazing. Last thing on the docket today is a voicemail from our beloved Ryan the Lion.
Oh yeah, so I've been waiting for this one.
Minnesota's finest. You'll hear it in his accent. He look, when Doug came on, it was like the one time we had 3 strong craft beer drinkers. So perhaps we puffed our chest out as craft beer guys. Yeah. Even though I do agree that there is this kind of like bending back into like regular domestic beer as like kind of a contrarian thing that people are doing as opposed to the 2010s craft beer phenomenon. Look, it's probably just the way life goes, but I have noticed it. Like, I don't think the craft beer thing is actually hipster anymore. I think it's mainstream. Okay. So it's, that was kind of what I was getting at here. But Ryan is a high life guy through and through. And he said, you know what? Teach me something. So here we go.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Ryan the Lion here. After your most recent Gain of Fiction episode, I was taking some real severe psychic damage for my love of Miller High Life. So I decided to reach out to the pod and ask what actually would be the best craft beer as an entry point for someone who, like me, has pretty much had nothing but crappy, cheap beer their whole life. I'll hang up and listen. And also, the Twins should be in AAA.
He says the Twins should be in AAA. Well, my A's should be the 4th A on the whatever league they go into. But so anyway,
shout out Ryan first of all. Like I feel he's always like in my corner with my takes and shit.
The bros. And like I love that he's like 7 high lives deep with his beautiful orange cat, and he's like, I gotta go defend my bros right now.
Yeah,
and then we need that. We need that.
Yeah.
So
we need more. Of that.
He is. T-Dog is the general. Ryan the Lion is like Jack Black in Mars Attacks with the flag running at impending doom, but it doesn't care because it's for a good cause. He's him, dude.
Yeah,
like, he would.
Do you remember every fucking every first round playoffs of our childhood was us losing to the Twins?
Oh yeah,
God damn it,
terrible.
It was so embarrassing.
We beat them in 06 when we were juniors in high school, and I was like, I was through the roof, dude. It was amazing. Horrible. So, a good recommendation. So High Life is a Pilsner, I think.
I think they're all Pilsners.
Yeah, the Miller fucking Milsners. Yeah, they do a lot of those. And to be fair, that is a solid mainstream Pilsner. Like it's good. Dude, almost every Pilsner I have is delicious. So if you find some craft Pilsner, now the problem is most people that drink domestic beer at a large rate, they are volume drinkers, right? And I would imagine Ryan, not to air him out, but he's, I think he's like a puts up Lou Williams volume level shots like in a short period of time. So it's tough. If you taste craft beer, is meant to slow you down. I know some people that do get hardcore into like fucking craft beer and like they become like craft beer alcoholics, which I do think is like pretty rough, like because it's like you're like begging outside a liquor store for like a Drake's Denogonizer or something. Like that's just insane. Like that's a tough road to go down. But I would say I like a lot of the Founders, like the really light stuff from like Founders. They have a Pilsner, I think it's called Solid Gold, if I'm not mistaken. It's pretty good, but their all day session IPA is pretty sick. Like if you're just crushing like beers, like you're just absolutely, the Twins are on. It's not going so hot. you know, you got sweet little rubies next to you, just trying to make things better for you. But you just like, I just need that little Pilsner, and I want to get off these high lifes. I would say I would actually go to like a session IPA for that. But again, you're going to spend more money. So I'm like, dude, you know, the high life might just be for you. You know, I took a lot of shit for like being a foo beer guy for like for like 15 years, and everybody like you'll be in the store at like a liquor store and the guy's just like, I couldn't imagine drinking a pine cone. I'm just like, whatever, dude. You would drink mouthwash to get a buzz. Like, what the fuck? So you know, I had to take a lot of stuff from that. But that was from the Beautiful Gone Girl episode that he was talking about, which I highly suggest everyone goes and gets on the Gain of Fiction list. But do you have any? You had that cool little Itali pills.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. That was weird. Well, I got a bunch of free beer at work that no one wanted to take home for some reason, and I'm like, okay, I'll literally take all of it.
How would that? Well, I couldn't even imagine being at a workplace where that was ever a thing,
dude.
Like nobody wanted it.
They're like, well, I don't like work. I work kind of in this back space. It's connected to all these other things. It's kind of like I'm hidden back there, but then it's connected to this one bar where they're like, we're going to redo the menu and we're going to axe all these beers. And I was like, you're not going to fire sale them or anything, or just give them away? And they're like, nope. And I was like, no one else wants them. It was like 2 bus tubs full of beer. And so I was like, all right, I'm taking all of them. And I just took them and I threw them in my lady's grandma's fridge, because that's where we all congregate anyway and like drink beer. Is like, I'm going there right after this on Sunday.
Nice.
Sundays is so. Yeah, it was like, I got to try this Mario N64 ass Pilsner, because it had the little attack. What are those things? The little weed that bites your ass as Mario, you know? And
I don't know what they're called.
Total Reddit ass beer.
It's very Reddit.
It was an Italian Pilsner, 7%, tall boy. So it's like, whoa, what is this exotic?
That's strong, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I started. It was good. Not my favorite, but because it was so strong, it tasted like a Pilsner with like laced with vodka, you know?
Yeah, that's you need the crisp. Like, you got to have a crisp.
Yeah.
Like, the like when my wife and I were in Santa Barbara, we had we went to this place called Institution Ales, and they had this German Pilsner paired with a Bavarian pretzel as like a little bar snack. Unbelievable. I mean, it was a hot day. The Pure Brewing in San Diego has, I think it's called Coastal Clouds or something. It has one of the best Pilsners I've ever had.
Don't go in the ocean.
Yeah, don't go in the ocean. Yeah. Dude, I know. I just don't think. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I want to say, if you did want to, as far as breweries go, I think the bet, like, highest bar, no frills, no weird fucking can art. Not that I'm against that. Is Freem, dude. Freem is so legit, dude. Up here, Hood River, in terms of brewing, yeah, excellent. Fucking yeah, you know, ales, IPAs, straight ahead stuff. Yeah, get into Freem, I would say, Ryan.
Yeah, and well, and you know, craft beer is very local too, so it's like if I'm suggesting you something, you'll look and you're like, well, they don't have that in Minnesota, so I would go. Minnesota has great beer. I know they do. I know for a fact, like especially Minneapolis. Now again, you might go in there and you might see the updated pride flag all in the corner. It's all there, just how we talked about on another shout out episode, TPN, when we were on the Perfume Nationalist. Amazing episode talking Crichton on there and everything, Rising Sun. But we were talking about like bookstores. It's like, dude, go into the Libtard thing and fucking buy the thing you want and like show them a little change of pace, a little change up to everyone's fastball.
Cross state lines, dude. Cross state
lines, dude. Just Rittenhouse your beer, dude. Like just go there, just go in there and just like every time I go to the bookstore, I'll buy like all these like base, like weird, like graphic, like misogynist novels and stuff. And I'll put the stack there and I'll fucking stare right at the guy. And what, you're not gonna sell them to me? You know, and it's the same thing. And beer's probably not even nearly the way. Yeah.
Exactly. Because if you're that guy or girl that like can't do I can't go to any liberal place, I can't do it, then you just end up buying Black Rifle coffee on some subscription online, like some floozy,
and then isolating, and then basically doing social distancing from your house because you don't want to go anywhere. And then or you fall for these like weird psyops, like that girl that said like the N-word on Twitter or something. Like you like crave stuff like that. Like you're just craving this like right wing this, right wing that, right wing anything. I'm like, no, I just want to go in and just buy the beer and have it not and look, you might see this stupid flag or something in the corner, but I don't know that that's going to be the case forever. I don't know. And even
if it's not, it's because of people. It's like us not wearing a mask in a store. You know,
exactly.
Someone has to do it.
You got to be these people. And like, look, I would go around Minnesota and go find something. To be honest, whoever said, I think it was Ace, or even Banjo Jack in our Discord. Shout out if you want to invite to the Discord, just find a way to contact the email rarecandyindustries at gmail.com. We'll most likely get you in if you're cool. And but I think it was either Ace or Banjo Jack that was saying and this is true, most guys that like get super into like brewing beer, own breweries and everything, they get super into like just normie ass like genuine draft or a high life or something. And you can say to them, like half the guys there, and be like, I know like a lot of guys don't like doing this. It's kind of a chick thing to do, but if you're truly in the dark, ask them for their recommendation, you know, like, and just be like, hey, this is what I drink.
Yeah.
I mean, because you technically could be another customer to them. They should be, you know, trying to keep these breweries afloat. They could be like, oh, I like a good Pilsner or something like that, and they'll pour you a taster of whatever. You can try it right there usually, and it's usually and then it's like that. But I don't know, man. I kind of don't want Ryan to pivot off I really like the gold can with Sweet Ruby pictures a lot.
I want him crushing gold cans with Ruby, doing WNBA parlays that he sometimes lets us follow. You know,
peak male performance,
dude.
And you might not like it, you might not even understand it.
Yeah,
but it's peak male performance.
It is.
So coming up, guys, again, we're gonna be having another. I've been traveling a lot, and you got a lot of stuff going on, so we've been trying our best. We missed the free feed last week. Some people got mad.
It's rare.
It's rare. Some people didn't, and that's okay. We never missed the paid feed. It never happens. So we got perfect attendance there. And then so check that out. We'll have just a fun solo horse sesh later this week there. And then Welbeck's hopefully the next week we'll see Michelle Welbeck's Possibility of an Island, Gain of Fiction. It's one of the best books I've ever read. I'm almost done with it. I can't put it down. It is Welbeck's one of those guys that like you go on Twitter and it's just like girls with like posting the book on their thighs, like with like oysters, and you're just like, all right, you know, like, but it's sick. Like
Possibility of Epstein's Island, dude.
He's amazing. He is amazing. I mean, it truly, Adam. That's an Adam Lear recommendation, and he's right. And he's right in the fact that he's probably our greatest living writer right now.
I thought he was like an older dude, but I mean, he's older. But I thought he was like
he looks like straight trash too. Like I'm like, damn. Like if you look at him, you're just like he's definitely like the classic like pretentious author, like personality wise, but his books often get accused of just hardcore nihilism and like bleakness, but there's so much bleeding heart elements to it, and it's really just him acknowledging a reality that the world doesn't bleed the way he does a lot of times, and then that then makes him retract a little bit, which is like, I'm sorry, for most men that like is the case. If you're a creative man, that does happen a lot, where you're just like, why doesn't anyone care about this shit anymore? Like, why doesn't anyone, you know, he spent time profiling farmers and in France, his book Serotonin, which I haven't read, but he was just like, he would get really earnest when he would talk about it. He's like, the farmers are fucked out there, and that's their agriculture. Think about ours, you know, like that's like, theirs is actually good. And like he's like, oh, they've introduced one pesticide. Oh no, you know, but then, you know, he has other ones about like sex tourism. I believe that's Platform. Submission is just like a pure like Islam book, which that one got him in. He actually got arrested for making comments about Islam. Again, proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. You keep just getting arrested for hating on Muslims in France. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, we're doing Possibility of an Island. That's coming up. That's going to be an amazing talk. And then PsyOps Book Club, we're going to be doing Conversations with God. I have part 1 on audio. So I and I are going to be hanging out in a little bit. I'll probably be listening to it as I drive to our remote location. And then, I think that's it. But yeah, you know, guys, there's a merch link in the description. Subscribe to the premium feed. There's a lot of more people popping on. Go check out our episode on TPN. And on that note, guys, everyone have a safe week. We will catch you guys next time.